Hi friends and family. Tonight's Thursday Night Thought is a follow-on of all of the video series that I have done over the last month. And the way the video series came together was a challenge that was presented to me by Elisa K. Gooch, who asked me to put together a video dialoguing what my viewpoint is of sexuality now, being in the West, and then how that would change after I traveled to India. Well, I'm back from India, and honestly, I didn't think my viewpoint would change. I didn't think there would be anything within what I already know and express and understand through my sexuality and my energy that would change. And coming back, I can say that I'm absolutely not true. I learned lessons and particularly things that help expand my viewpoint of sexuality. So in many ways, it didn't change. However, it did expand, and therefore, in many ways, it did change because there was a huge part of sexuality that I was missing. And to explain it is to tell you a story. When I was in Amritsar at the Golden Temple, which is where I was called to visit, my husband and I wore the traditional wear of the Indian people. I wore a sari, and it was beautiful. And as I walked down the street that day, it was very different than being a tourist in India. The people who normally would be approaching me to sell me their wares or to get my attention no longer approach me in that manner. I was able to really be a part of the culture and the experience. As I walked through the Golden Temple wearing the traditional sari, people stared, and I started to feel completely uncomfortable. And I asked my husband, I said, gosh, should I take the sari off? I mean, is this too nice? Am I overdressed? He said, no, Andrea. Obviously, any blonde woman in a sari is going to stand out from the crowd. So I relaxed. However, the attention that I was drawing was really overwhelming for me. And suddenly people started to stop us, and they asked us if we could take pictures with them. And then they wanted to take pictures, and they wanted to talk, and they wanted to share how touched they were that two Americans would come to India and wear the traditional garb of India and respect the temple and respect their culture. And it was so beautiful, and so many people came up to us, and we had this experience over and over and over again. So finally, I hung my head, and I was in this mode of just walking straight through the crowd, and I couldn't talk to anyone. I couldn't receive the energy around me. And I thought, interesting. So the next day, we traveled up to the Himalayas. And this is the space in India where, for me, I experienced that peace and solitude of being able to go deep within in a very serene and quiet location. The first time, the entire trip. And as I sat down with my pen and journal, I was able to really pinpoint what it was that I learned from that experience at the Golden Temple. And I began to write about what it is that I believe about sexuality, what it is that I believe about that energy and about that transfer that happens between people. And I realized that I'm really great at giving the energy and creating the energy, and even in my mind receiving the energy from what I believe is God, my spirit, and that love and that penetration of love that I talked about in prior videos. I receive that. I can live with that. However, when another person was giving me that and sharing their love and their energy with me, I blocked it. So this got me thinking that obviously sexuality is about the giving and receiving. It's the combining of the energy. And I'm just fine to do it spiritually. I'm just fine to give it to people. But yet I wasn't allowing a part of me to receive it from the people of India. As I became more aware of this, towards the end of the trip, the same thing happened. I'd wear a bindi, I'd wear more the traditional garb of India, and I was more accepted by the culture. And in being more accepted, people wanted to take pictures and again, put their arms around me. So by the end of the trip, with this awareness, what changed and what dramatically blew my mind was that I was able to stand with these beautiful women and smile and just enjoy the love that I was receiving from them. And what I realized is it's easy for me to look at another person and have that mirror reflection of what's going on within me. So I sense that love, I see that love, and therefore it's a reflection of myself. However, I wasn't able to receive the love from someone else when I'm their mirror. So at that moment, I realized that something within my own sexuality changed. And now I was able to look at the people as vessels of God and me being a mirror for their own love. And that was an incredibly beautiful experience and something that I'm going to have to continue to grow with in my journey as people want to share their love with me. So how did my view of sexuality change? I believe my view of sexuality expanded and changed in such a beautiful way to really incorporate the giving and the receiving as one, so that energy flow just continues, and it continues a momentum as opposed to what I was doing in the past, which is stopping it. And it was an incredible lesson. So I'm really glad we had this journey together. Elisa, thank you from the bottom of my heart for challenging me to do this. I truly believe that had you not have challenged me for this, I'm not so sure I would have caught that huge lesson in India and had that awareness. That was an incredible gift. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. And thank you all for joining in this incredible journey. Thank you.